Today we're exploring the hypothetical scenario that many of you voted for in my most recent poll. What if Levi's squad had survived a battle with the female Titan? The answer to this is more complex than it may seem, but their survival is ultimately dependent on the actions of one person, Eren. In this video, we'll be delving into the key moments where Eren's choices could have altered the outcome, and exploring what might have happened if he made a different decision. So let's jump right in and find out what would happen if Levi's squad survived. The first thing we need to answer is when Eren transforms, as he had two chances and instead chose to trust his comrades both times, leading to the death of Squad Levi. For this what if, we'll say Eren transforms during the first attack. The main reason why is, during Annie's second attack, she instantly kills Gunther, and we kind of need all of Squad Levi to survive, hence why we're picking the first attack. The way this goes down is, Eren tells Levi he wants to fight now. Levi accepts his decision and tells his squad to fan out and give Eren room. All of Squad Levi use their ODM gear to grapple onto the trees while keeping their distance from the female Titan. Annie ignores them because she thinks they're a non-threat and continues chasing Eren. Once Squad Levi is properly dispersed, Eren turns to look at the female Titan. Harnessing his rage at seeing his comrades killed, he bites into his hand and transforms. Annie stops in her tracks to face Eren. As you can probably imagine, the ensuing battle is a one-sided slaughter. As Eren charges at Annie, she prepares to counter with a decapitating kick. But just as she's about to strike, her eyes are slashed by Levi. Blinded and unable to defend herself, Eren lands a clean punch to the female Titan's jaw. Annie stumbles backwards and begins to crystallize her nape while lifting her arms to protect her head. Eren prepares to follow with another punch, but notices Eld signaling him to wait, and also signaling Petra and Oluo to aim for her elbows. The following strikes drop Annie's arms, and gives Eren the opening to land another haymaker at Annie's jaw, knocking her to the floor. He then unloads a flurry of punches at the female Titan, determined to avenge his fallen comrades. But Levi intervenes, preventing Eren from killing the female Titan. Inside, Annie is concussed by the impact of the punches, and her Titan is too battered to use the scream. Drifting out of consciousness, Annie begins to crystallize herself to prevent interrogation. Squad Levi have no idea where the crystals are coming from or how to stop it. Eren breaks his hand, and Squad Levi exhausts their blades, trying to destroy the crystal. Just as they're about to give up, Erwin and the veteran scouts arrive at the scene. After some additional attempts at breaking the shell, Erwin announces that they'll bring the shell itself back to the walls. Eren exits his Titan, shocked to learn that Annie was the female Titan, and frustrated with himself for being unable to break the crystals. Members of Squad Levi scold Eren for not following the plan. Petra asks Eren why he doesn't trust them. Oluo points to the Titan restraining equipment that Erwin brought, and says if Eren had followed the plan, they'd have captured Annie. Levi defends Eren somewhat, and says nobody can be certain that their decisions are always correct. Eren is full of regret, and tries to convince himself that he made the right decision. But then, a scout whom Eren had saved approaches him, crying and thanking Eren for saving him. The scout tells Eren that he had family back home, and he was worried he'd never see them again. This moment rebuilds Eren's confidence. He begins to believe that he made the right decision after all. He saved his comrades, and they've captured a female Titan. Trusting in himself can't be the wrong decision. Annie is saddled on a cart, and the scouts return home with her. Seeing Annie captured creates a dilemma for Reiner and Bertholdt. They could save her, but that would blow their cover, and they'd be executed upon returning to Marley. And if they don't, it's unlikely they'd ever see her again. Plus, there's a chance the Survey Corps will uncover the connection between them and Annie. Reiner and Bertholdt go back and forth on this, and are unable to come to a decision. As the scouts are riding home, the weight of Annie's crystal slows down the scouting formation, and Titans begin to close in. Because they can't release the crystal, they're forced to intercept, and countless scouts die in the process. Eren looks away from the carnage, and holds onto the memory of the scout he spoke to reassure himself that he made the right decision. Reiner watches the chaos and thinks to himself that it's his chance to save Ani. But the fear of failing the mission and being punished for it back home causes him to miss his chance. The scouts arrive at the walls. The crowd greeting them is prepared to ridicule them, but they see the massive crystal and the girl sealed inside, and begin murmuring to themselves that perhaps the scouts have finally achieved a victory. At the capital, Erwin presents the captured Titan Shifter as proof the Survey Corps can succeed. While the higher-ups are annoyed that Ani is inaccessible, they can't deny the results. The scouts are allowed to keep Eren, and after the meeting, Erwin secretly orders investigations into Ani's background. The main impact of Squad Levi surviving so far is Ani's captured much sooner, which prevents the battle in Stohez from happening. Without that battle, the scouts never learn about the Colossals inside the walls, and Hanji never meets Pastor Nick. Now, with the female Titan arc complete, we begin the Clash of Titans arc. In Squad Levi, Hanji is running the crystallization test on Eren to see if he can produce similar crystals to Ani. There's still tension between Eren and the members of Squad Levi, but since the mission ended, they've had some time to process Eren's decision. Oluo and Gunther are the least sympathetic to Eren. The former thinks Eren is full of it, while the latter thinks he doesn't have what it takes to be a scout. Eld and Petra are more sympathetic to Eren, as they recognize it was a tense situation. Plus, at the time, no one knew if there even was a plan. Petra in particular continues to emphasize to Eren the importance of trusting your comrades. She draws a connection between him and Levi, and states Levi also has the strength to slaughter the Titans, but continues trusting in his comrades, so Eren should follow his example. Petra's words to Eren makes him reconsider doing everything on his own, and he swears to himself that next time he won't make that mistake. Before we continue further, we must confirm where Squad Levi is currently situated, as that will become a big deal soon. Squad Levi operates from the Abandoned Scouts HQ in Walrose. The manga doesn't indicate where it's specifically located, but considering Titans attack from the south, we can safely assume that any HQ would be in that direction as well. The reason why this is important is Zeke unleashes a Titan horde from the south, so if the HQ is in that direction, Squad Levi would be at ground zero and would face Zeke immediately. If, for example, we assume the HQ was instead closer to the Carinus district, as that's where the previous expedition was launched from, Squad Levi would start off far away from the ensuing battles. For this what if, we'll assume the HQ was located in the south. Now we must establish what the Survey Corps as a whole are doing, as things have changed considerably from the original story. Originally, Erwin isolated the 104th Cadets in a training camp located in the southern regions of Walrose, while the scouts he trusted conducted the operation to capture Ani inside the Stohez district. But as we know, this time Ani was already captured. Erwin is still suspicious of the 104th Cadets, but isolating them is out of the question. Remember, everyone knows Ani was captured, including the mystery Titan Shifters, while in the original, Ani's fate was kept secret from the 104th. If Erwin takes any direct actions against them, it would alarm the Titan Shifters, and they might strike first. So he decides it's safer to wait until the investigations into Ani's past are complete. The only thing Erwin does is prevent anyone besides the scouts he trusts from contacting Squad Levi. What all of this means is, when Zeke attacks, the Survey Corps are already positioned in Walrose with their weapons and horses, and Squad Levi is at ground zero for Zeke's assault. Now, let's continue the story. Hanji's crystallization tests on Eren ultimately go nowhere, so she decides to call it off and returns to the original training regimen. Upon hearing her decision, Oluo smarts off to Eren and says this is proof he's not capable of anything. But before anyone can respond, they hear faint rumbling. At first they are unsure of what it is, until Gunther points out the horde of Titans approaching them. Everyone goes silent, none of them can believe it. Titans have breached Walrose. Eren breaks the silence by asking Levi what they should do. Levi pauses to think, before announcing they must evacuate the villages and notify Erwin. He tells his squad to grab their horses. First they'll kill the nearby titans, before they split up and evacuate all the nearby villages. He tells Hanji to notify Erwin and all the other squad captains. Hanji departs in haste. As Squad Levi is putting on their ODM gear and readying their horses, Eren meekly asks Levi if he should follow Hanji, as that's the simplest way to keep him from the fighting. And he's surprised when Levi tells him he'll need his support as well. Levi thought about the battle with the female titan. While he didn't like the outcome, the battle made it clear the effectiveness of fighting alongside Eren. In fact, Levi even orders Eren to transform, to the shock of the entire squad. None are more surprised than Eren. He'd spent the past few days mentally preparing himself to not transform even when his comrades are dying. And after failing the last mission, he's full of doubts. All of this culminates in Eren being unable to transform. No matter how many times he bites his hand, nothing happens. After watching him try for a few moments, Levi simply shakes his head and says the plans have changed. If Eren can't transform, there's no point in facing the titans. Squad Levi will instead focus on evacuating the villages and keeping Eren from the battle. Eren is disappointed in himself, but he understands that he must trust in Levi's decision, regardless of how he feels about it. Plus, even if he transformed, he'd probably failed them again. But Levi's plans are interrupted by the titans sprinting at them. And because they had waited so long, there's no time to retreat. They have to fight. Levi orders Eren to wait inside the building as they intercept the titans. Unbeknownst to all of them, Zeke is observing the battle from a distance. The speed in which Squad Levi disposes of the titans surprises him. He expected minimal resistance, so he allowed the rest of his horde to disperse. He uses his scream to call them all back and directs them towards Squad Levi. At that time, Squad Levi regroups inside the castle and reassesses their position. They're low on fuel, and their blades are nearly used up. Plus, they can't expect any reinforcements because of how isolated the HQ is from civilization. Levi makes the call that they must forget about the villages. Saving Eren is their top priority. Since the Titans came from the south, L theorizes that trust must have fallen. And if the Titans have made it this far, the Survey Corps must have already been annihilated. They'll have to push all the way to Alcina alone. Levi realizes that Erwin must be dead, and he's now the new commander of the Survey Corps. Before he can process this, a boom shakes the building. Petra looks outside and sees their horses massacred by debris. She looks around and sees Titans coming from every direction. They're completely surrounded, and in the distance, she sees the Beast Titan gathering branches and rocks for another volley. Petra relays what she saw to Squad Levi, and the room goes silent. Each member imagines getting devoured by titans after a futile last stand. Then they all turn to Eren, who's been silent this entire time. Their only way out is if he transforms and carries them to Alcina. Levi tells Eren he must succeed this time. He has no other choice. Petra attempts to reassure Eren by telling him she'll put her faith in him. Aluo, Eld, and Gunther remain quiet, unsure if Eren can do it. Squad Levi brings Eren to the roof and gives him the signal to transform. Eren, however, is still full of doubt. Putting faith in himself is the reason the last mission failed. He bites into his hand and nothing happens. Again and again he bites down, and the same results occur. Squad Levi doesn't have time to watch him. The Titans are bearing down on them. Levi bluntly tells Eren they'll buy him time, and that all of humanity is depending on him. Levi declares he'll handle the Titans coming from the north. Aluo declares he'll handle the south alone, as he's just like Levi and has the most Titan kills. Petra gives a slight smirk, though she hates it when he imitates Levi. This might be the last time she'll ever see him do it. But just as she's about to declare she'll handle the Titans from the east, Eld says he and Gunther can handle the east and west, and she should help Levi with the north, as that's where most of the Titans are coming from. But Petra interprets his decision differently. Eld believes they're all gonna die here. In fact, all of Squad Levi does, despite Levi's earlier statement. and she's not sure if she believes in Eren as well. Oluo shouts that he won't let them catch him in Titan kills before jumping down to face the Titans. Gunther and Eld give each other a nod before facing their respective Titans. Petra looks at Levi, who's staring at the incoming Titans, and watches him leap off to face them. She remembers how she told her father she'll devote herself to Levi, and she resolves to fight alongside him until her final moments. Petra jumps off as well. On the roof, Eren is frantically biting his hand, cursing his own weakness, and wondering why he's failing now of all times. The images of Ani crystallizing, and the reality that he caused the last mission to fail, continues to fill his head with doubts. But then he remembers the scout that he saved, and Levi's words about making a decision you won't regret. Zeke begins walking towards the HQ. He's confident the scouts will die, and is hoping to grab an intact ODM gear for future research. Oluo exhausts his last blade, and grapples onto the building, and sees the Beast Titan walking towards him. Then Eren jumps off the building in front of him, transforming in the air, blowing all the nearby Titans away, and facing down the incoming Beast Titan.